Right, a review of multiplying fractions. Some key things to remember when we're multiplying fractions. We should simplify or reduce fractions if they're not already in our lowest terms before we multiply. And then we can just multiply straight across. So numerator times numerator and denominator times denominator. And then we can simplify at the end of our calculations. If we're working with mixed numbers, we want to convert them into improper fractions and then multiply straight across. Let's take a look and see what that looks like. So if we have 2/5 times 3/4, we can just multiply straight across. 2 times 3 in the numerators will give us 6. And 5 times 4 in the denominator will give us 20. So 2/5 times 3/4 will give us 6/20. And then we can reduce that to 3/10. So we can multiply straight across. All right, very simple. 1/3 times 1/4. We can multiply straight across because they're in the lowest terms already. 1 times 1 will give us 1, and 3 times 4 will give us 12. So 1/3 times 1/4 equals 1/12. And another example, 1/3 times 2/7 in their lowest terms, so we can multiply. 1 times 2 will give us 2 in the numerator. And 3 times 7 will give us 21 in the denominator. And that is in simplest form. Okay, let's look at some more challenging ones. Mixed numbers. When we're working with mixed numbers, we want to make sure that we convert them into improper fractions and then multiply straight across. So looking at this first example, 7 1/5 times 1 1/3. First, we're going to convert to improper fractions. So in order to do that, we can multiply 5 times 7, and then we can add the 1. So 5 times 7 is 35, plus 1 is 36 fifths. And we're going to multiply that by 3 times 1 is 3, plus 1 is 4/3. Okay, and then we can multiply straight across. 36 times 4. Well, 30 times 4 is 120, and 6 times 4 is 24. So 36 times 4 will give us 144. And then if we multiply the bottom, 5 times 3 will give us 15. All right, and then I like to return this back to a mixed number. So in order to do that, we need to divide 144 by 15. So we got 15, 144. Okay, and in order to figure out how many times 15 goes into 144, if we did 10, that would be 150, so that's too many. So we can do 9 because we know that it would be less than 144. So let's do 9. 9 times 15. So 15 times 9 will give us 45. 9 plus 4 is 13, so 135. 135. And then we can subtract. Well, we can't do this one, so we got to borrow. Turn that to a 3. 14 minus 5 will give us 9. 3 minus 3 is 0. And 1 minus 1 is 0. So we have 9 and 9/15 remaining. We can simplify that into 9 and 3/5. All right, there's that first one. Let's look at example number 2. 4 1/5 times 20. Okay. So we're going to change this first mixed number into an improper fraction. So 5 times 4 plus 1. 5 times 4 is 20, plus 1 is 21 over 5. And in order to turn 20 whole numbers into a fraction, we just need to put 1 underneath. So this becomes 20 over 1. And then we can multiply straight across. 21 times 20 will give us, let's see, 20 times 20 is 400, and then 20 times 1 is 20, so that will give us 420 over 5. And then, let's see if we'll put this back into mixed number. So we need to divide 420 by 5. So if we do division, 5 goes into, let's see, 42. 5 goes into 42 8 times. So we will do 5 times 8 is 40. And that will leave us 2 there. And then we bring down that 0. So we have 20 left over, and 5 goes into 24 times. And 5 times 4 is 20. So 4 1/5 times 20 is equal to 84. All right, one more example here. 2 5/6 times 1 3/5. Okay, convert to improper fractions. So 6 times 2 plus 5. 6 times 2 is 12, plus 5 is 17. 17 over 6 times 5 times 1 is 5, plus 3 is 8. So we have 8/5. Okay, and then we can multiply straight across. 17 times 8. I'll just do that right here in the middle. 17 times 8. 8 times 7 is 56. Carry the 5. We have 8. 8 times 1 is 8. Plus 5 is 13. So we have 136. And 6 times 5 is 30. All right, both of these numbers are even, so we can divide by 2. And we would get 136 divided by 2 is give us, let's see, I'm going to erase a little bit here, over here, do some math here. 136 divided by 2. And we can just start with this 13. 2 goes into 13 6 times, so 6, and that will be 12. So subtract here, we got 1, and we bring down that 6. 2 goes into 16 8 times, and that will give us 16. So we have 136 divided by 2 will give us 68, and then 30 divided by 2 is 15. Okay, and then we have an even and odd number, so that's going to be as small as we can reduce it, and then we can turn it into a mixed number. So we'll divide 68 by 15. All right, 15 goes into 60, 15, 30, 45, 60, so 4 times. And then we have 8 left over. Okay, so 4 is our whole number. And then we have 8 15ths. So 2 5/6 times 1 3/5 is equal to 4 8/15. All right, your turn. Go ahead and pause here. Try these out. Come back and see how you did. All right, so converting from a whole number into a fraction, we just need to put that 1 underneath. And then we can convert this from a mixed number to an improper fraction. So 3 times 1 is 3, plus 1 is 4. So now we have 15 over 1 times 4 over 3. And 15 times 4. Well, 4 times 10 would be 40. And then 4 times 5 would be 20. So 40 plus 20 would be 60 over 3. Alright, now if we want to turn this into a mixed number, we divide 60 by 3. Okay, so 2 will go 20 times, will give us 60. So this is equal to 20. And if you wanted it in fraction form, you could just put it over 1. Alright, the second one, 5/5 times 1/5. We can just multiply straight across. 5 times 1 will give us 5. And 5 times 5 will give us 25. And if we pull that 5 out, or divide by 5, we would get 1/5. Okay, now you might make this connection when you see this problem. This is equal to 1. So we could really say 1/5 times 1 is equal to 1/5. Alright, one more. We have 3 times, well, we can reduce first this fraction here. We can pull out 3, so that would divide by 3, so it would be 1/3 times 3/4, and that would be equal to 3/12. Or if we reduce it, dividing by 3, we would get 1/4. Now let's look and see what would happen if we didn't reduce it first. We would have 3 times 3, which would be 9. And then we would have 9 times 4, which is 36. Okay, and then if we reduce it, we can just divide by 9, because 9 goes into both 9 and 36. So 9 divided by 9 is 1. And, whoops. 9 divided by 9 is 1. And 36 divided by 9 is 4. So our answer is the same.